Connie, pay attention to this.
I think 50.
Obviously, getting your hair out of the way so it doesn't get caught, right?
Well, yeah, that, and it has a tendency to snag when he pulls it through loops. There are hair ties where you can
They're pretty freaking amazing.
rope somebody up by a hair. He's actually done that. We tried to do that for the damsel shoot.
I wasn't very good at it
That
at
and
the
my
time.
hair is so thin.
So good.
My hair's so thin, you can't do anything with it hardly.
And it makes it really hard.
Dorian is getting his rope ready. So, Guy, how many times have you been tied since you started in October?
Boy.
I want to say we're getting up towards the 50s, maybe a little higher than that. It's been quite a couple of times that we've done ties together. It started with the October shoot, and then I know you did Christmas, and then we tapered off for a while because we both had really busy schedules.
Super busy.
We're both adults. But recently, since he's been filling out his portfolio, it's been more frequent. So there's.
Now, have you worked with any other tops?
No, I have yet to work with any other tops, and honestly, I don't think I feel very comfortable with it because
it's such a personal thing.
Yeah, it's a really personal thing, and I mean, my boyfriend is totally and completely supportive of it. But we're kind of, when you're talking about doing it with somebody who I haven't known since elementary school, like we both went through our dorky phases together, so like we both were comfortable with each other.
And some of you may still be in that phase.
Yep, to be fair, yeah, that's true. But the idea of doing it with someone that I haven't known on such an intimate level scares me a little, because Dorian has a very good idea of my pain threshold, my personal journey as far as what I've been through with depression and anxiety and everything else. So it's very secure to have someone who knows your backstory so well and can use it in the sense of healing. So
We all ready to go?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready if you're ready.
Tie you?
Mm-hmm. Notice he asked for consent, so that's important.
Out there, but so when I do my rope intros, I do 3 basic ties. I do the pentagram star harness. I do a limb restraint, which is like their limbs together. It could be their arms, it could be their legs, or wherever they want it. And then I do a restricted tie of some sort.
And it's not just limited to the chest, legs, and arms. I mean, there's ties that are solely based on binding hands.
Heck yeah, arm benders and
there are face nets that you can do.
Oh yeah, those are really high level though. I only did one face cage before. I wasn't very good at it because it was it's small, so you have to be really intricate with your hands, and my hands shake like a lot. Which was one of my problems with tying people, because my hands was shaking and made me
Was it shaking because you were nervous, or was it just?
No, I have tremors because I took some medication a long time ago, and it just ever since then my hands would like shaking nonstop. It got really bad, really fast.
Yeah, the hair thing I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, you should be fine. A head cage would look good on you though, Andy.
Dorian said he would tie you next.
I got you,
scared,
Andy.
man.
I ain't
scared.
Turn around for me, so I don't have to thank you.
You know, long time ago, I was certified as a hearse master. You know what that is, Jed? Helicopter rope suspension training.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I ain't scared. I can tie some knots too.
I thought you were going to tell me you were into kink.
I mean,
it depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
I do whatever the boss tells me.
So you're submissive, Andy?
If you know Connie, so
yes, I do.
I'll be submissive because I don't want to be cut. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Don't let the sweet voice fool you.
You have such a perplexed look on your face.
No, it's not perplexed at all. I'm actually looking at the way he's twisting the rope and making sure that when it's coming out, it's supposed to be flat, it remains flat.
There's some definite attention to detail.
Like, I may seem stupid, but I love detail. I'm a really big detail person, even though I do
Dorian,
crazy stuff.
don't sell yourself short. You don't seem stupid.
You're tremendously stupid.
Savage.
Well, the rope, the attention to the way the rope lays, it's not just for aesthetic purposes. I think it's also for therapy, because if it's not laying right, it's not going to hit that pressure point and do what it needs to do.
And sometimes when you twist it, it ruins the quality of the rope, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you have rope and it starts curling on itself, it's time for the rope to be laid to rest. Like that big old piece of jute I have right there, she's on the way out. And
Piece of
that was my first bundle of jute I've ever gotten.
piece of what?
Jute.
Oh.
She's getting worn, like badly, unfortunately. She's old.
So I know it's kind of quiet right now, and I know it's a podcast, but we are actually doing some video of this, and we'll put it up on the YouTube channel, and we'll put out links to that as well. So
We've got quite a few shoots planned that are coming.
Yeah, we actually
soon.
have a lot of shoots planned.
I know.
Like a lot.
Cerise and I, we share a zodiac sign, so we're going to be doing a matching tie together. That one I'm really excited about. You've got us both laying sort of almost prone with our backs to each other, and then our knees are going to be lifted up and tied together at like a 90-degree angle.
It looks pretty cool.
What does that have to do with the zodiac sign?
The zodiac in general, it's a one of balance. There's multiple zodiac signs that have balance involved in one, but the one that we share lies heavily in being these equal parts light and dark. So we're going to play up on that, and we're also going to use colors that are specifically related to that zodiac sign in our wardrobe, makeup, and the lighting and backdrop as well.
We have a professional photographer to do it all.
And then I know
Yeah,
you
I know a
need to
guy.
figure out a location for my unicorn shoot.
Trying, dude. It's hot out there.
Which-
That's a hot ass hoodie.
I know.
Hot out there, man.
We're planning on doing one that involves me wearing a unicorn hoodie with like the full on, like if I skinned a unicorn and made a pelt out of its body, it would be like horn, ears, mane, all of it on the hood.
It's actually pretty good. It used to be mine, and I gave it away. That's why I had
I
it.
stole it.
So this is actually pretty popular on the channel right now, the Facebook channel. Mark has came out and said this is a must-see, Chad and ropes. Probably the only way Dorian can ever really tie him up. Ouch. He's talking about your skill there. Buddy wants to see this. He says, I got to see this.
That
So-
ain't happening.
Unfortunately, I ran out of rope for Gaea.
Did run out of rope.
So what I usually do when I run out of rope, you attach more to it. I don't know. I can't think of the name of the knot for it. But when you run out of rope, you just literally attach another piece to it. So I have a good little length I can do to do other stuff. So I'm going to do a crotch harness next. Turn.
What? Can you say that again, please?
I'm going to be doing a crotch harness.
That's what I thought you said. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Pretty simple. Don't step on my rope.
I'm not going to step on it.
Oh, no.
I have a 150 feet of rappelling rope in the garage.
Rappelling rope?
Yeah, I'm just saying. And I've got a half a spool of 550 cord.
Jeez.
So, rappelling rope.
Yes.
That's an idea.
Okay.
You're getting him excited.
I know.
Did you see him go, what?
I know. Yeah, I do what I can, you know.
There's a girl I know who does a rope dress, which is literally just rope that goes around the entire body. It goes here, and down towards the hip area.
He's
and it
pointing
puts
towards his chest, his abdomen,
His boobies.
his
my man
boobies.
boobies. And it puts pressure on like the soft spots of the body and here, and it puts a little knot. So there's a knot here, and I'll demonstrate it when I actually do the tie.
Okay.
It comes here, and there's two finishes you can do to it. You can just come around here, or you can go between legs and go up. So they would wear it as a thong. So with this tie, people need to understand that it is a dress, but for every tie, you can use it for a sexual need if you want to. You just have to make an adjustment. There is this thing called a happy knot, and you put it in the right spot. And for all you guys out there who just don't have it in you, who just want the lays, just want a little bit, and just tie them up in a rope dress and get a wand and attach the wand to the rope, and then the entire rope will vibrate. So if you have the happy knot in the right spot, you ain't got to do nothing. You can watch the game. You're fine.
Somebody's going to be happy, right?
The magic wand.
Things are expensive, but they get the job done.
Connie's ears peaked up a little bit at that one.
The magic wand?
Or the knot, happy knot, or whatever.
Happy knot.
She got a big old smile on her face.
It's really cool because like it only works for
She keeps cutting her eyes at
synthetic
you
rope
going-
though. Not synthetic. It only works for natural fiber rope like jute or hemp.
Hope you guys all can see what's going on here on the podcast. It's good
So-
because
Right now, Dorian he's got rope
Everywhere. Literally everywhere.
surrounding her chest, up over her collarbone on either side in like an X pattern. And you can see it's not super tight, but you can tell it's squeezing a little bit. And I'm looking at Gaia's face, and I'm watching the way she's breathing. And she's got this kind of glow, right, that she didn't have when she came in here.
That's what happens.
Rope does something to people, man. It's like
I know
people are scared of it.
I
but
know it's an enjoyable sensation
crazy.
when I can hear the rope creaking against itself when I'm doing my breathing. Because you do have to focus on that when you're
Yeah,
doing
that's
this.
really important.
And you have-
Your nose out through your mouth.
Yeah.
And it's funny because all my coaches tell me I don't breathe, but it's different if I have rope on me than I would breathe. But I'm not rolling with rope. That's asking to get choked.
a different kind of breathing,
That's a
pal.
whole different story.
Just saying.
And it's not kind of like, oh yeah, of course you have to breathe. But if you're not regularly breathing throughout, especially with chest pieces, if you're not doing breathing regularly and properly, you're not going to get the tie done right. It's not going to be tight or loose enough. It's not going to sit in the right places.
And then when you're sitting and you put on a tie, it's going to be completely different when they stand. So you have to always think of that too. I did an intro not too long ago, and I hog-tied the girl, and she stood up. She rolled over with the rope, and it was really loose. And she was complaining that it didn't stay tight. And I told her that I kept it light. When you do intro ties, you have to always keep it light because everybody wants to go that extra step. They want to see what they see on Facebook and stuff like that. But you have to start really, really small when you do your first time stuff. 'Cause
So is this what a happy knot would be?
this is what a happy knot would be. Yes.
I
you
get,
put it
now I
in,
get,
yeah.
I get the picture.
You couldn't figure that out earlier, pal?
Well, but
I mean-
I just want to make sure. So Dorian has now tied the happy knot.
Yes.
I mean, I come from a long line of nurses. I have a very vast sexual education. I can tell you what's going to go where if you need me to.
No. I'm trying to paint the picture for the podcast audience.
That's correct.
And right now, the happy knot is laying
In the happy
securely
spot.
in the happy spot. Exactly.
What kind of knot is that, Dorian? What kind of knot
Which one?
that you're tying?
So basic over under.
Basic.
Yeah.
So it's
the
just like
knot
an
you
overhand.
use when you use if you want to spread the rope and make a diamond, you would use these.
So
It's like
overhands. They're overhand.
Yeah.
Overhand knots. For all you salty knot sailor tying type people, Chad, that are
It's
out there.
I mean, I was
I
getting
was
ready to see
trained.
some mass heads.
Yeah, right. Some sheep
Yeah,
shanks. and-
absolutely.
yeah, that's what I thought he was going with earlier when he's talking about combining ropes.
Yeah.
Sheep shank and
It's funny because like when I was originally trained in Shibari, she would always used to test my knowledge on it because of course you got to understand the knowledge part and know what you're doing to teach other people. And I did okay. I wasn't the greatest. I've always sucked at taking tests. But I was okay.
I know I was at your blue belt test.
Yeah, I didn't understand what he meant. He said roll this way, and I'm like, I don't understand. Turn around for me, please. So one more time. So I was pretty decent enough at remembering everything, but then I bumped him. Believe it or not, I bumped my head, and
I believe it.
I bumped my head, and then I just have really bad memory with things. So like, it's really hard for me to teach people as efficiently as I was taught to. And actually, believe it or not, my tying process went straight from foundation and structure and do it this way to strictly improv. So believe it or not, 90% of the time when I'm doing something, I literally have no idea what I'm doing until it's done. And it always seems to work. And I think that's why my art is so good, because it's not planned. It's just, if it happens and it looks great, and it just does. And it works out really well, especially for the shoots. Now me, I don't take a lot of my I guess my shoots or like my sessions when it comes to teaching people seriously. I literally just like keeping a very friendly type of vibe and environment so they don't feel intimidated. Mm-hmm. But that's just for like the photo shoot process of it. There's always going to be a time where like I'm with someone specific, where it's not just it's not just me tying. There's a lot of passion, a lot of electricity going through, so it's not a joking matter for me when it comes to that stuff.
So, Gaea, let me ask you while you're getting tied up here.
Oh, I knew you would.
No. So, is there, like, if Dorian comes over and, he texts you and say, can I come tie you up, whatever. Is there a difference? I mean, we got a bunch of lights in here. There's 6 people in here, right?
Yeah.
I'm counting right. Is there a difference? Is there an apprehension because, you're in front of a couple strangers here?
Not really. In all honesty, I'm here with my friend. This is no different than the 50 plus how many ever times we've done it before. I mean, and we both try to take it with the mentality that we're both here to relax. We're both here to be comfortable with each other, but we're also doing some serious mental rebuilding. So yeah, we laugh, we decompress, we talk, and it's no different being here with all of you guys than it is if we're in Chesapeake Arboretum with 5 different suburban moms walking through.
Or the Arboretum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arboretum.
I love that place. That place is the shit.
It's your world, Dorian. We're just along for the ride, man. But I do have a question for you guys, kind of along the lines of what Chad just brought up. So you're engaged, right? How does your fiance feel about this?
Oh, he's so absolutely supportive of it. I mean, he's hanging out with us.
We're getting a big thumbs up from Steve over there. So
Steve's like, I'm just kicking it on the couch, man. It's all good.
I'll be
I'm
honest.
gonna reap the benefits of this later, so it's all good.
Whatever makes you happy, man.
there you go.
It does. I mean, and it's partly Steven's support in me doing, this that I want to do, and him encouraging me to pursue things that I enjoy and pushing my personal boundaries and my own personal comfort zones. His support and the work that Dorian does with me have opened me up, like, as far as personal boundaries, my own self-worth, and my own courage. Honestly, 5 years ago, I would not be doing this with the person that I was with 5 years ago. He would never allow it.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Wow.
That's
So how
a
do you feel
whole
about
other
that?
story for a whole nother podcast if you want to hear it.
Strange.
And I met Steven, and he has reminded me I'm not a victim, I'm a warrior. And doing this kind of stuff and him encouraging me to pursue things like this have just driven that point home. And to have somebody that I love and who loves me relentlessly wants me to go out and grow. It's awesome. So very awesome.
It's very chill, too. Like, just not too long ago, I went over there.
And he
I
just-
tied up for like a couple of hours, and then they cooked us dinner. And you're a great cook, Steven. God damn, that ravioli, whatever the hell it was amazing.
It's chicken Brian.
That's what I said.
Props to Chef Boardy.
It was great. And then I went home. It's like another day at office. My schedule for life is work, come home, jiu-jitsu, and 90% of the time I'm tying somebody that same night, or I'm tying myself.
So you're mooching a meal is what you're telling me.
I mean,
Okay.
It's hard out here.
I need to mention that I sent you home with a full container of Tupperware, and you have yet to bring that back.
Oh.
You said keep it. It was cracked. I don't want it. Stop bringing up old shit.
Man, she keeps bringing that shit up. Tie her ass down.
That's,
That's right. Now, do you do gags with this? I'm just
I
curious.
actually do.
Yeah, I was just
There's
gonna
like
say.
a lot of like different ties out there, and
The Mad Gagger.
the Mad Geiger.
The Mad Gagger. We use that.
Do you ever tie anybody that, like, in their normal personal life is in a job where they're, like, super in charge, has all the control? That was kind of a loaded question because you did tell me what you did before we started. But super in control, and this is a way to have something opposite of that. Do you
Exactly.
find that a lot with your models?
A lot, not just with my model, just with people who just need a therapy session. So
Would a good example of that be like an officer in charge in the Navy?
I know a
Not
few.
one.
Chad,
Not one.
you, a former officer in charge?
So
I
it's
ain't
funny
charged
because
shit,
like
dog.
a lot of clients come to me asking for Shibari sessions where literally all they do is just sit there, they breathe. It's like a tantric session. It's like they enter subspace as soon as like the rope touches them. They enter subspace, and it's very tantric. It's very relaxing, and when you're in that environment and it's just the rope just cycling through your skin and just really chill, it's like 5 minutes can turn to like 5 hours really fast. It's like your misconception of time and where you are, it's just everything goes by so fast.
So I don't want him touching me because every time he's touched me, he's trying to choke me. I ain't letting that go down.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Dorian.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm just saying because I know what's coming on the mat next. So I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, no, you're
And I mean, that dichotomy of having people who are in high power who come and do this, like Dorian said, it's more frequent than you think. And I think it's because you have such high stress when you're in charge, when you've got people or things or deadlines or stuff that you know if you don't follow through with it or if you fail at it, it's your ass in the frying pan. So I think to come and do something like Shibari, where it involves so much in relinquishing your own personal power and experiencing that vulnerability, I think is why you get that frequency of people in high power place jobs doing this.
That's why I do jiu-jitsu.
Right?
That's why you do jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. That's my stress relief.
It's impossible to think about anything other than this dude's trying to kill me.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, I got a question for Steve. Steve, can you come over here?
Yeah, man.
If you mind.
If you don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
Come on over, Steven.
I just got a question for you. Right? So do you notice like an immediate difference in Gaea after she's done a session?
Yeah. Yeah, she's generally like, it'll be real random. She'll come home and she'll have a hard day at work and she'll be all stressed out. And then there'll be a knock on the door and it's Dorian with 2 other models. And they'll come in and they'll do a 3 or 4 hour tie session. And, you know, as soon as she gets started, you know, she's laughing, she's happy. When it's over, she's calm, she's not irritated.
Or complaining about the food bowl on the ground.
So it goes back to
Right.
what you were saying earlier about being therapeutic.
Yeah, it seems to make everything better for her. And anything that works like that, I'm down for.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? Weird, okay. Yeah, maybe it's weird in my opinion, but if it works for you, do it, man. That's who am I to judge?
Right.
Really? Yeah. You know, if it's better than medication.
Heck yeah.
Throwing medication down your throat.
Been down that road, which I mean that is a whole other thing. I mean, I come from a family of nurses. Like I said previously, my own parents struggle with their own fight with ADD and other mental issues and have their methods of working with medicine. But you know, from the age of almost 2 to 19, it was, here, let's try this. Okay, well, this isn't working, let's do this pill. Or this regimen isn't working, let's try this again. To where, you know, in high school, I'm leaving early from my first class to go to the nurse to take medicine, leaving before lunch to go to the nurse to take medicine, coming home, taking a couple more pieces of medicine, you know, and well up into my teen years, injections, patches, you know, infusions, things like that, to the point where, and I mean, I can't blame my parents but so much because I'm a product of the 90s, and in that point in time, that was where there was a real precedent for medicating children with ADHD. So when I got to the point of 19, I was like, this obviously isn't working. I've got to find something else, and started down my own path of non-medication and self-repair, and found Dorian, started doing what I'm doing.
So you said earlier, right? So it touches on pressure points and things like. So is there like a, lack of a better term, an acupuncture type response?
It's like acupuncture and a Japanese massage in a way. From what I've never seen or heard of a Japanese massage. All I know is happy ending. That's all I know. There's none of that here.
Ties in that happy knot.
Yeah, ties in that happy knot. No, but it's acupuncture. It's the pressure points where they are, and then just having them sit there like a Ceres. She loved the rope dress.
Cerise? Yeah, she loved the rope dress.
And I put the rope dress on, and she did not want to take it off. Like, it just puts everything tight, and you just want to walk around with it. She was literally just like laying down, like on her phone, texting with it on there, and then when she finally took it off, it was like,
I mean, even right now, the points, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the points that are at my rib cage, when I take those deep breaths, there's some definite pressure right underneath the last one, but it's not in a bad sense. And then you've got
Move your eyes.
Dorian, you've got some droopage. And then you've got it up here on my collarbone.
You've heard that before.
up here where it's hitting on my collarbone, and that's kind of, it increases your posture too. I have terrible posture, and then you put me in a harness,
posture,
and I'm forced to sit up because if you slouch so much, you've got the back that's pulling against you, but if you move backwards too much, you've got the front that's pulling against you. So you have to find this perfect posture point to stay in, so it's just enough resistance, but not to the point where it's pain.
So could we have you, since it looks like he's got the camera on you, is she, yeah, there she is.
You know what I think is kind of ironic? So we've got the filming going on right now. We've got our young guy here being in the rope and everything. And in the background, of course, I've got my samurai swords from Japan.
This is true.
Isn't it weird?
Speaking of samurai swords,
here we go.
So there's a lot of.
So you cut the ropes off?
No, it's actually I've actually tied one of my models to a big piece of bamboo or a samurai sword to their back. I have a couple photos on my Instagram where not just my Instagram but my Facebook where I had a samurai sword. My model had a samurai sword, and we decided, let's just add it to the shoot. So we performed katara kote, which is a basic restraint that goes hands behind the back, and it keeps everything in tight and keeps your posture straight and everything like that. It's actually pretty cool. But we tied the sword in between the spine, so if you slouch, it poked, so you have to keep straight. If you came here, you kept the neck kind of irritating, so you just kept your posture straight. So Shibari is used for posture training as well in the kink community.
You should put two of your models in gis and tie them into the guard,
so they can keep
good posture.
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Believe it or not, Shibari has actually helped me with my posture when it comes to using. I'm still trash at it, but my posture has gotten better, and Shibari has helped a lot. Because when I go home,
do more Shibari.
I would always get yelled at. Posture up. Active hips. I'm like, I go home and I get so upset with myself because I had a bad day of jiu-jitsu, so I start self-tying myself in the mirror, and I'm looking, and I feel a bunch of pressure just right in the center of my back going up to my neck, and then when I did this, it hurts. I'm like, ugh, and then I realized, wait a minute, so for a week straight, I think I was preparing for U.S. grappling. The last one I just went to, I would have that tie on for a couple of hours when I'm at home. It would help me with my posture, so my posture would be good. So I noticed when I was in during that competition, I
need all the help I can get.
I had terrible time breaking the guard and posturing up and breaking grips, and then I realized that I needed to do pretty much what I did for my Shibari. So I kept my hips super, super active, and I noticed it makes breaking grips, especially around the collar, if I just keep my hips active and posture up and just look up and stick my chest out, that it helps breaking people's grip
like
in the
having
guard.
Proper fundamentals.
Yeah, it's kind of like I went to class, but I had a little bit of extra help after class. That's all it is.
So, Chad said he needs all the help he can get. So, we keep getting requests on Facebook. Everybody wants to see Chad tied up. I don't know what have you done to people?
Apparently, nobody wants to see a well-endowed blonde tied up. What's that
it has to be an old.
I know, right? I want to see an old squishy dude. See an old squishy dude tied up.
Maybe that's just their kink, Chad. Maybe that's just their kink.
Andy, get up there.
If it works for you, it can't be too upset. Give the people what they want, Chad.
No, I got it. It ain't happening.
Honestly, that is one wish since I've gotten into this.
To see Chad tied up? Me too.
Industry lifestyle. I would love to see more men do it.
That's actually funny that you say that. So for that same October shoot, I tied up women, I tied up men, I tied up transvestites. Remember that stripper that you wanted, the transvestite one? Yeah, I tied her up too. Yeah, what was it for?
It's talking to me.
Yeah.
Transvestite stripper.
Transvestite stripper.
Nothing's off the table.
Apparently.
Andy,
transvestite stripper for the party. Laysa party.
I remember asking for midget strippers. I don't know about transvestite strippers.
Well, they were both. Well, she was both. So.
I asked for midget strippers because they're half off.
She was a...
Half off what? I'm weak.
Transvestite midget stripper?
Yeah, she was, she actually does really good work.
I'm sure.
Did you need much rope?
Did I need much rope? I had too much rope. Honestly, for her, I had way too much rope. So this tie.
So you're starting to untie her, right? So, Gaea, you said earlier about during the untying. I don't remember your exact words, but during the untying, there's a different endorphin release.
Yeah, there's definitely a calming sensation when you release the rope when you start untying it, especially if you prefer it on the more pressured side like I do. So like in general, my hand, there's some sensation at the fingertips where I can feel the blood moving in a different way because there was that compression in certain points on my veins in my arm. And now I'm starting to have a little release to my elbows as well. And as we go along and move and untie the stuff that strings through my legs and up my thighs and across my chest, it's
Happy
really
knot.
fun, honestly, and enjoyable because it's almost like
it's
from
happy.
the root up. You're like a tree, and you're just getting this almost flow of everything being released from the bottom up.
I'm going to be juvenile for a second. Say, she said root.
Turn around for me. Thank you.
I'm a 15-year-old trapped in a 47-year-old's body. What do you
I
want?
can't believe it.
I mean, the arms and the legs are great. The one I'm really looking forward to is the chest piece
Actually, this is really good.
because there's predominantly that pressure.
You can
along.
feel it a little bit in your breathing, and
And you probably can't see it much right now, but I
There's-
think after I untie this, you'll see the rope bite.
I'm pretty sure
I can
most
explain
everybody
exactly
can't
what
see
rope bite
anything
is.
right now. I'm just saying, it's a podcast, so I'm sure they can't see anything.
Okay, so, wow, how do I explain rope bite? So, when a rope is tied super, super tight,
leaves a mark
it
on
leaves
the
a
skin.
mark.
Like
But
when you
it's
take a
kind of
real
like
good nap on the couch.
exactly.
Rack burn.
Got your rack burn.
What?
I've had that.
It's like people get scared because when they hear rope bite, they're like, "Oh no, you mean like rope burn?" It's like, no, rope bite. It's kind of like putting your hand on a big piece of dough and you see it just rise back up.
Have you ever had anybody freak out
during a session?
during a session?
I have one time. It was back in 2000, I think. I'm gonna say 2000, close to 2010, maybe 2009. I had a client freak out because usually when I do clients I don't know and who's brand new, I ask a series of questions. I ask them to tell me their medical history, any PTSD, depression, anxiety, so I know everything. But she forgot to mention that rope getting close to her neck freaks her out. So she started freaking out. And usually when I have any client that freaks out or there's like an emergency happening, I have safety shears and I cut the rope completely. But she was freaking out so bad, I was scared to come near her with the shears. So what I ended up doing was I literally had to, like, her boyfriend was there, but her boyfriend's in the room, so I called him and he came into the room and he's trying to like figure out what is going on because he has no idea what's going on. So he's like yelling, screaming at me. He's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And I'm like, "Yo, let's just get the rope off her." So like we ended up getting the rope off of her, and then she entered a very, very deep like subspace, which is weird. I've never seen anybody have a traumatic event, something that's really like hitting them in her subspace like that. So it was like new to me. So I was trying to explain to him exactly what was going on. And then when she came to and everything was fine, she explained
Did you
to us.
hold on? Did you say self-space?
Subspace.
Subspace.
Yes.
Explain
Yes,
subspace.
I don't know what that is.
Man, that's a hard question. So subspace is like a state trance you go into that a sub goes into where it's like, I guess I can only explain my experience. So like I said, with everything that I do to other people, I've had done to myself before. So of course, in order for me to tie somebody up using a specific tie, I would have that same tie done to me. So Esmeralda is a very stern person, but she's caring at the same time. So being tied by her finally and learning more about rope and the mental aspect of it, it's, like I said, minutes can go into hours. And then after a while, I entered a subspace because I was going through a bad relationship moment at the time. So having that quality time with my teacher, I don't get often enough because she's always traveling. So, and I will explain how it happened to me. So subspace to me is the part of your body and mind where you're there but you're not. It's like enlightenment, a trance where everything that's going on in your head is your happy place. For me at that time, I didn't physically feel like I was there. I didn't feel the ground. I didn't feel the rope at the time. I didn't feel anything. I was like, in my head, I was in an empty room and I was hearing a was hearing a knock, like this slight knocking, and it kept getting louder and louder and louder. And then it started to go into a beat of this song that I loved. Like at the time, it was like, I think it was like Kings of Leon, Sets on Fire. I think it's that one. I was really in love with that song at the time, and the knocking started turning to that song, and I was getting really happy and started feeling really warm. Subspace is like a trance where you're in complete harmony with yourself. But sometimes it can be bad. It's kind of like reliving a bad moment. It's just depending on the person. And it could take a lot for a person to go into subspace. It could take very little. It all depends on that person. Each person's subspace can be different. Some people could have they can go through
Catharsis.
Catharsis. And they remember something from a long time ago. I had a client who I was tying one time, and she was completely French. She's like, do whatever that you think you can do, and if it bothers me, I'll let you know. So I tied her hair, and I hog-tied her, and I had the piece of the rope that attached to her hair, attached to the rope behind her, and her face started like cringing a little bit. And I asked her if she was experiencing pain. She was okay, and she's like, no, I'm just remembering this rape that happened to me. Wow. And she started talking about it, and she's like, this is actually the first time I've talked about it in my entire life. And as many times I've been to therapy, and my husband tries to talk to me about it, and I don't, and I just openly spilled everything about it, and she started to cry. And that's where the catharsis comes. You just repressed feelings just come out, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. In that moment it was good and bad, but it helped her in the long run, because ever since then it's been easier for her to express not just the bad things in her life, but to her husband how much she loves him. Because for a long time she had a terrible time expressing love through voice instead of actions, which meaning actions all good, but sometimes you need to hear that, and she just didn't know how to voice love. But since then, their relationship is like perfect. Where they had problems before with that, they have none. From what last time I talked, they are like amazing, and it's really beautiful.
I've been hogtied before.
Have you?
Yeah, it was in the back seat of a police car, but
jeez.
I guess that doesn't really count for what we're talking about tonight, does it?
One of the models,
it wasn't therapeutic for me at all, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's turn around for me.
It's a different podcast.
It's a different podcast for a different time. Every tie has a purpose when it comes to things. So, of course, the rope dress, I know a lot of people who wear the rope dress actually when they go to work, so they'll take a shower.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, so I have a person I know personally. She takes a shower. Her daily routine is she takes a shower, eats breakfast, checks on her dogs. She goes into the room and she takes off all the clothes she put on, makes sure the kids are off to school, whatever, and she ties herself and puts on a full rope dress, puts her clothes back on, and goes to work. Works an 8-hour shift at an office, some law firm, I believe. And she does that, and then she comes home and releases the rope, and all the stress she had that day completely forgot when she took off the rope.
Wish you guys could see her face right now. It's almost like total bliss.
It is. It honestly is. I'm going to sleep so good tonight.
It's like a fat guy after getting done eating at a buffet.
Exactly.
Or me eating at a buffet.
Me eating at a buffet, right?
On my collarbone, we'll have to see.
No, you just got a little bit of rope bite. Just a little bit. Yeah, right here. You got a little bit of rope right here, right here. Collarbone.
She got bit by the rope. Yes, very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Impressive.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
No, you're not. You're getting the hell out of here in about 20 minutes.
Sorry, you good?
Want to help clean it up?
No, I got it.
I'm going to sit in your seat then.
There you go.
Gaea, well done.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's
huge change, man. You see that?
I know. Look at.
She's like she came in here timid earlier, and
she's all giddy.
And now she's like totally relaxed and just like what's up?
That's why I do it.
Maybe I should do this. It'll help me get out of my shell.
I think you should, yeah, because Lord knows.
I recommend it so deeply.
I'm very meek and reserved.
Connie thinks you should.
Not
Facebook.
Facebook thinks you should.
Not happening.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I showed my mom the pictures from my October shoot where I'm not sure if Dorian shared any of them with you, but they're not
that rat bastard.
risque.
They're all on my Facebook, man.
They're not not heavily risque in the least sense, but I mean, I'm pretty proud of what I do. You know, I spent a lot of time as an ugly duckling, and I just recently had a glow up where I feel good about myself. So to have these pictures taken was really nice, and I sent them to my mom, and she was supportive. I mean, but she doesn't get it. So I mean, you're gonna have people who just don't understand.
I have a whole photo album. You go to albums. I have a BDSM portfolio with majority of my work.
So sit right here. Yep, here we go.
BDSM bondage rope work. Here we go.
Or is it under the 30 Days of Halloween?
It's under the BDSM. Yeah, I don't know why I made that one. I really thought I would put
Can
more
we link this on the website?
Of course, absolutely. Please.
I could actually probably point out some of my work.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just
there you go.
take that and point it out.
Well, that was the Mad Gagger. She did a great job with that one, and that was actually
Mad Gagger's probably one of my
that one
favorites.
involved, as you probably can.
So you remember me saying when I was looking through some of your pictures,
Mm-hmm.
it was this was one of them, right? And it's partly because of the way that it's lit and the way that it's framed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have them up over there?
Mm-hmm. Which one?
The one right there with the
with
right
the
here?
Mad Hatter outfit.
Yes.
Is this you?
No,
No,
that is not me.
That's
Mine should be
actually
further down.
Jenny Cakes. She's
This is you.
Yep, that is me.
Aha! Look
Which
at that
one?
smile.
And that one was actually
That's
really
actually
fun.
her right there.
That was some of the
I
goof
got
reel.
some of the
Goof reel in there. I'm making faces.
So I met a Mad Gagger once, but that was on deployment. So that
Fired
was,
marriage,
yes,
fired
that
marriage,
was
fired
that
marriage.
was BC. So what do you guys know what BC is?
I do.
Chad knows. No, not birth control. Before Connie. So
Oh.
my wife's name is
Okay.
Connie.
Connie, no.
This was
No, technically it's before Christ.
but
no. We're staying with before
Actually, no,
Connie.
it's before Connie.
Yes.
That's exactly what I took it as.
So I always have to preface this because I will get stabbed in my sleep and I'll lose a kidney. So yeah, BC.
Am I looking at a rope dress, sort of?
yes,
Yes.
that's the
Okay.
rope dress.
Okay, so yeah, just we'll put our links up to the images so
Please
people
do.
can kind
Please
of.
do. My profile is public. My photography album is public for just that one. So anyone who wants to see my work but don't want to add me on Facebook, the profile and the album's always there. I post new stuff when I'm able to. Right now, I have a lot of new content that I just haven't posted or put on the album yet. I'm planning on collecting a bunch of content, making an Instagram again, and then just releasing it time after time. But it's easier to have a lot of content instead of rushing to get more. But yes, that's the town center shoot, and that's the Santa Claus who happened to actually be a rigger. So it was really weird that he was just walking around like that. I'm like, dude, this is your.
Wait, he was walking around in a Santa costume,
And he's a rigger.
he was rigger,
And he's a rigger.
and he participated in the shoot.
And he didn't participate. He just took a photo because he said, "You guys got some balls to do this."
I'd just like to say thank you to the United States Navy and Marine Corps for flying a CH-53 over while we're trying to do a podcast. Hurrah. Oh, look, Dorian is tied up here. So,
Yep.
Lay, you asked earlier. There you go.
That's actually a really nice tie. I've
like
never seen that one. You look really good.
I got a bunch of nice ties. They're up in the closet.
Dixon actually tied that because she was super nervous. So I told her it would help if she tied me first, and she did. And people were like, "What the hell?"
Can you tie a bow tie? I always have trouble with that.
So I can tie almost anything you'll see on the internet, but I cannot for the life of me tie a tie or a jiu-jitsu belt.
I was about to say, you have a little bit of trouble with your belt.
Yeah, it's the blue belt. That's all it is. I got to relearn everything. That's all it is.
Jesus.
But so here's a funny thing. So a lot of my work has.
Grab the chair behind you there, man.
Oh, thank you.
Remember, you're the one that folded it up.
That's right. Pull up a chair, relax for a little bit. Act like you've been here for a minute.
So a lot of my work has spread outside of the state. So I had I'm in the Shibari group, and this lady posted a post saying, "Hey, I want to do a lot of Shibari, but I'm trying to get my significant other to see that it's not the stigma." So I posted on her status, and I said, "Well, he needs to understand that this is purely artistic. What I suggest you do is show him some photos of artwork with a lot of flowers and stuff." I post a lot of photos of Shibari with flowers so people can see the beauty of it, and people just light it up. It's actually amazing. So another person posted something else a little bit more aggressive about him not understanding or something like that. So I posted something back, and I told her respectfully, don't be so hard on her. She is trying to do this. He's new. Not everybody's like us who understands it. So after I put that, maybe like an hour later, this girl messaged me who's also in the group, and she said, thank you so much for what you said. It's really nice to see people who understand what Shibari is. And I said, you're welcome. And she added me on Facebook. She added my page, and she scrolled through like my entire album and sent me stuff that she liked. And she's from England, actually. So she has her own Instagram where her and her husband do their own Shibari, do their own ties, and we add each other on each other's Instagram. And just wanted to... Her name is, I think, Mandy. She's a really good rigger. She ties her husband, her husband ties her, and her work is absolutely beautiful. So I'm like impacting people's lives, not just here in Chesapeake and DC and in California and wherever, but like places like Ireland and
you global,
England,
baby,
like just everywhere. So
global.
It feels really good.
He's going to change his nickname from Godly to Worldly.
That's right. You totally should at this point. So what is your Instagram?
I haven't. My regular Instagram is only one godly, only _1 godly. But I had a Heavenly Binds Instagram, but there was some issues I was going through in life, so I took them down, and I took down my Heavenly Binds Facebook page as well until I was in the right place and I got my passion back. So I collected a team.
Hey, no yawning over there.
I told you I get real relaxed, real easy.
I collected a team, and I don't think I kind of explain this. Like, it is a business, but what I'm doing, the tying and doing these shoots, honestly, I don't really do it for the money. I do it because I love to do it, and it's fun. So when people say, hey, this is your business, I'm like, it is, but like, it's not in a way. So I have these group of girls. I have really good recruitment skills, I feel. Like, people just... I just meet all these people. Like Shibari, I just meet them. Had no idea who they are. Collected a big team of models and big team of photographers, and we're out here doing shoots. Don't even know each other.
You know, I find it really interesting to hear that because, you know, the first time I met you, I was like, oh, he's a creep. He's a total creep.
Yeah.
Right?
It's,
you know,
and the second time, and the third time,
the 100th.
I'm a people person. It's just, it takes the right, like, setting and light. And I collected all these people, and we did a big shoot, and we ended up being friends. Now I'm at the point where I don't really need a lot of people. I just need a small group of, not even models, just friends. Friends that I know, friends that we know each other, we can trust each other, just literally go out and do the shoots. I think a lot of the reasons why I lost my passion for Shibari was because I looked at it too much as a business. And I think that's why, like, it was hard for me to do it and feel like I'm efficient or happy. So
you lost your way.
I lost my way.
You lost the purpose of it.
I lost a relationship too with somebody, and it caused me to step back, and I rethought how I perceived not just rope, but like my life. A lot of stuff that I did because I didn't know why I did. Like, there was no reason. I just did it, and it's like a trial and error. Like, I'm only 25, so I have a lot to learn and a lot to do. But like, I'm an adaptable person. If I do something and it's wrong and I fuck up, I'm gonna come back and do it differently. Like, I don't know the right answers for anything. It's like my rope. I don't know really how to really do it, but I'm gonna try something. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So with my rope, after I did all that and got on my proper medication, I started talking to people more, going to a therapist, trying to get my life back together. And after that, from that point to the breakup to that point, then when I restarted, I couldn't tie anybody. I couldn't. It's just tying people.
So what got you back? What brought your passion back?
I think majority of it was the breakup got me back, but for not the bad reasons, the good reasons. I was too emotionally like attached to certain things in that aspect of my life, and I realized that once you learn, I think it's balance. I learned to balance myself with my breakup, my relationships, my friends, my family, my job, my work. And once I learned balance and I finally grabbed the rope and like, you know what? I think I can do this. So I went into my room, I sat down in front of my mirror, and I looked at my mirror for a long time. It felt like 30 minutes.
Poor bastard.
And then I finally started tying, and like, it felt right.
Listen, you know, I guess folks are going to eventually see you on the video, but I just want to put it out there, man. You got a face for radio, bro. Just saying. I'm kidding. Listen, guys over there yawning her rear end off. She's completely spent here, obviously. So what do you say we wrap this up?
Okay. Absolutely. I got to tell you, before we wrap it up, I just want to say one thing. So I didn't know what to expect, right? I figured this was going to be Andy and I clowning you, because that's generally what we do anyways. And I learned some stuff.
Yeah, I did too.
Right? And that was pretty cool.
Nothing's off the table, man.
It's a fact.
Nothing.
We can all learn.
I think Dorian was more surprised when I said we'd have him on the show than
I actually was. I thought you were joking, so I was like, okay, that's funny. And then you're like, no, I'm seriously. Oh, well, damn. I bet. It was really surprising because, like, we don't have a voice in this area or anything, so to be responsible to throw out that voice, it's a lot of responsibility, and it makes me feel really happy.
Well, you still don't, because we only have like 2 listeners, so but that's all right.
We'll get more.
Yeah, we'll get maybe 3. But.
Well, actually, and when Andy gets his posted, certainly share it with amongst your
Absolutely.
group and
Share the hell out of it.
I will.
But listen, guys, go Chad.
Do we want to give a precursor to what our next podcast is?
No, I think we should hold off on that.
We're gonna hold off
It's
on
going to be good, though.
Okay.
Again,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Nothing's off the table, and this one is definitely. This one might be off the table. I don't know. This one's going to be off the chain. That's for sure. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming. We really appreciate it, and thanks for educating us. And hopefully, we can help you guys get some of your word out there on this stuff. And maybe get you some business too. Who knows?
Hell yeah, that's great.
And maybe eventually we'll get Chad tied up.
Yeah, I'm gonna push it, Chad. I will throw signs on
I
that.
will tie you up. I guarantee you that. That's happening.
Wait till Ricky hears this. He might have a little something to say about it.
That's true.
All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.